Sunday Talk with Mikael Avatar here from Thailand. Today we have a special story. It's from 1990, Christmas. I spent Christmas in Madrid. So this is the story of Christmas in Madrid and how we did go to Algeria. Algeria is a country near Tunis and Morocco in Africa. So, I'm Mikael Avatar, born in Sweden. Everything I do is because I believe people can make a difference in the world. And my Sunday talk is 30 minutes at least. And let's start. So the picture is 1990. I had like Christmas holiday and I had a friend and he wanted to go to his family. So I said I go with him. He fly to Madrid, and I didn't fly because they needed help with the flight ticket. So this crazy story starts with me taking a flight ticket to Zurich to leave to his sister. So I fly from Sweden to Zurich with a ticket with the wrong name. I have never done that before. And I had to change plane in Copenhagen, Denmark. And I thought, so my friend's mother checked me in Gothenburg because there was a lady's name on the ticket, not the man. This was back in the days when you could do crazy stuff. So she gave me the ticket and I went in and fly to Copenhagen and I need to change the ticket. So I was trying to dress me as a lady so I could change the ticket. I came to Swedish and I gave the sister of my friend the ticket so she could fly back to Gothenburg. I had the Interrail card. Interrail in Europe, you can go when you're young. I was young, 22 something. When you're under 25, you have an Interrail card, so you can go with the train wherever you like in whole Europe for 1 month. So I took the night train from Zurich to Madrid and met my friend. It was so cold. I had no idea Madrid was so cold around Christmas time. We spent Christmas there. The heating opened 2:00 after midnight and closed 2:00 daytime. And it was so cold. And the humidity, it was like 2 degrees, 4 degrees Celsius. I don't know Fahrenheit how much that is, but it was cold. So my friends, I said, I cannot stay here. So we went down to Almeria, I think it's called. So we took the train down and there it was 20, so it was much more hot than Madrid. Madrid is very hot in summer and very cold in winter. It's between mountains, so that's why it's so cold there. So we was kind of bored. So uh, the day before, 3 days before New Year, we decided we take the boat over to Africa. So we booked the boat and went to Morocco. And because I told him, oh, I have a friend in TC also in Algiers. Let's go to him. Uh, I had no clue how dangerous it was to go to Algiers in the 1990, but we took the boat to Morocco. I don't remember the name of the city we come to, and from there we should take a bus to Omar, I think, at the border from Algiers. It was a crazy trip, seriously crazy bus trip. I don't know if it's 10 hour or 8 hour or it's a long time ago. And half an hour before we came to, I think, Omar, I don't, forget me if the name is wrong, but the bus stop at the square, and everybody go off. And we started go off, and they said, no, sit. They told us, and we sat, and the whole bus, I mean, there was chicken on the bus, there were rice, there were everything. It was packed with stuff, but they all took all the stuff off the bus, and then they drove down to the real bus station, and only 3-4 people were sitting in the bus, and we Western people. So we came to this bus station, and we tried to get fine. We were hungry like hell, and we have no clue how to get food. And if we checked, we said, can we really eat that? You know, we were in Morocco. We had no clue what we were doing. We couldn't find people speaking English. This was a small town, maybe big town near the border to Algiers. But we got something to eat. I think cola or chips or something small. And then we wanted taxis to go to the border, bus to the border, but they told us there is no bus to the border. But how do you have to buy a place and go by taxi? And we thought, this is crazy. So we went up and down the street and finally find this guy who helped us pay for this taxi. And we were scared because we knew we were only white people around there. So everybody saw us. And we trusted this guy kind of, and he gave us this point and helped us to pay the taxi. And we thought, what is this? We paid like a small, I think maybe $50, maybe $1. 2 people was like $2. And we thought this would be very close to the border. We came in the taxi, and there was this Citroën or with 10 places to sit, and it was full. There was like 10 people in the car, and we drove. And we left the city, and there was like a desert, flat, completely flat. And you couldn't see the horizon. Seriously, you could see the horizon. It was totally flat. And we drive for hours. Remember, we paid like $2 for 2 people. I think that it was like 4 or 5 hours. They had a break. It was like being in the movie. It was so spooky. We came to this gas station in the middle of nowhere. You probably seen the picture. The dust was flying around, and there was this gas station, and you could really hear the bell. It was spooky. We stopped there for like 10 minutes and then fill up the gas, and then we drove off, and we came to this border to go inside Algiers. There was nothing there. Seriously, flat land, every direction. When I sailed on the Atlantic, 88, this was 2 years before this story, you can see water all around to the horizon when you are on the Atlantic Ocean. And we didn't see land for 30 days. So to be in a desert and no mountain, nothing until the horizon. And there was this little border station. And we came there, and there were only Arabic people there, dressed in white and with this, I don't know what it's called. And we were the only Western people for Europe. So I told my friend, give you your passport, because the line was going like this, and there was like 200, maybe at least 100 Arabic people before us. And I thought, if we stand in this line, we will be there for days. So I say, give you your passport. What are you going to do? Trust me, give me your passport. So he gave me his passport. I had 2 passports in my hand, and we were from Sweden. Swedish passport is like hard stuff when you travel the world. And I said, Sweden, and we passed lines, like 100 people. And we came to this door where this guard stood like this. Who are you? What do you want? Sweden. I shouted. They didn't speak really good English, only Arabic or whatever. So okay, he let us in because he understood we were the only foreigner there. And I told my friend, don't talk, because my friend could speak Spanish, and I knew they could speak Spanish there. And if they speak with him, we are doomed to fail. I was very, very driven at that time. And so I had my show there. So he gave us this paper to fill in. I couldn't write because my hand is shaky. So my friend was writing, and we came to this, how much money do we have? And to get in to Algiers at that time, you have to have like 1,000 dinars. and we have changed 1,000 dinars in when we came to Morocco, because we knew we needed 1,000 dinars to come in to the country. So we write 1,000 dinars, and he write 1,000 dinars. But and then we left these papers to this bossy could go out there, and and he looked at the paper, looked at me, he looked at my friend's paper, he looked at me, and he said, "You have 1,000 dinars." "Yeah, we have 1,000 dinars." And he looked at her, show me the money. And I thought, this guy is crazy. So I took up I think I had something inside here, pulled it up, open, and showed him 1,000 dinars. And then I wanted to give it behind my back to my friend, because he didn't have one. We have only 1,000 dinars. And he took the money, and he looked at my friend, "Your 1,000, where? And it went crazy. So, you don't have any more money? Yes, we have. Show me the money. And I thought, come here. So he took me behind into a different room, and he said, "Show me the money." And I was like, okay. So I've seen a lot of movies, so I know the best way of hiding money is in the shoes. So he said, "Show me the money." So I put up my foot and took off my shoe. There was like big rice. I don't know the English word for that. And I put my foot on there and shoe up my shoe, and took off my shoe, and under the leg pull up, and I took out 20,000 pesos, I think. They don't have pesos anymore in Spain. They have euros. This was before the year, and I had 20,000 euro, and he took and counted the money and write the number down. He said, "You have more money." So I took up my next foot, and tied it up. And this guy was starting to scream, look, money and shoe, these foreigners. And there was so much crazy stuff going on. So we had like 50,000 pesos with us. But then we had to go to another office to change 1,000 dinars to my friend, and they turn upside down all our stuff in what we had in our bags, and there was like 4 different stations, and it took us hours to get through this whole stuff. They didn't take our money. They gave it back to us, everything. They checked all our luggage. We had to fill in so much paper. And my friend, he was quiet all the time. And there was this last stop where this guy, he was standing there holding our passport. And he looked at me, looked at my friend, looked at me, looked at my friend, gave the passport, said, you here, no more, and go. That was the only English he could. So we could pass into Algeria. And you have to know that I had cerebral palsy. My friend had cerebral palsy. Probably we are one of the few people with cerebral palsy going in alone to Algeria. We have money in the shoe. We have safe currency at the black market. We do all the stuff wrong, but they let us in there. And then there was a taxi waiting on the other side, and we paid like $2 or something. And then the taxi drove us to the horizon, and that's like a 3-4 hour drive. And we came to this small village somewhere. I have no clue. After 4 hours, we were hungry. We had to get a hotel for sleeping, and there was no lights anywhere, no street lights. Everybody had lamps walking outside, but we had to eat. We got this small hotel. I don't remember what we paid. We got some food, and they told us, you cannot be out. Dangerous. And nobody speaks Swedish or English or Spanish. So we use our own sign language. But we got some food. I don't know what we eat. It could be anything. We were starving. We slept. In the morning, there was a train station who took us to Algiers. Algiers is the capital of the Algeria. I don't know even if you say Algeria. But so the train was like 12 hours. So we booked this train. We was nearly alone all the time, 12 hours, because people don't travel. We didn't understand how dangerous it was at that time in Algeria. It was really, really dangerous. We had no clue. So 10 minutes before midnight, we sat on this empty train going into this big city, Algiers, the capital, and we were looking to see fireworks because this was New Year's Eve and there should be fireworks everywhere. And but they don't celebrate New Year in Algeria. So there were no fireworks, no people. We came to this train station, I think 2-3 minutes after midnight. No fireworks, no people. There was like kind of police standing there or with shotguns, and it was a bit scary. But we said we want to go here and here. We had the paper with the address we wanted to go to, and he said, no, you have to stay here. And we were like, what do you mean? We want to go here? No. You cannot go here. It's not possible. And they really speak no English, no Swedish, no Spanish. We were Swedish. My friend could speak Spanish, and we both speak English. But this is a Berber country, Arabic country. I don't know all the religion in Algeria, but they took us to his office and he said, "We want to go here." And they were shouting, they were screaming, "No, no, 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 you cannot go. No, we want to go here. Friend, friend, friend." And there was this half an hour we waited. And there was this one guy and he came to us and said, "Oh, you two, Happy New Year," because he understand we celebrate New Year, but they don't. And I went outside to get some air. He said, "No, no, no, go in." And, I couldn't go outside. So we sat there half an hour and then they, "Okay, come, come, come." And we went outside and there was like 15 guys, 10, 15 guys with machine guns. Seriously. So walk. And we thought, are they kidnapping us or what's going on here? It was like nearly 1 o'clock night. And we walked and this address was in the old city of Algeria. And these 15 people, they were guiding us because it was so dangerous, seriously dangerous. So this was police or military guiding us to this address. And they were banging on the door, screaming. And there was this guy going out on the balcony. And we had the name of my friend. And they told, no, he's not here. But it was his cousin. So his cousin took care of us and got us so we could sleep. And the police went away, and the cousin couldn't speak, but he shook his head, crazy, crazy. And the next day, he told us, my friend Ben, that we were visiting, he wasn't there. He was in TC Osho. TC Osho is a beautiful city in the mountain. So it's like 3-4 hours with train. And he said, no, take taxi. They were talking about this taxi. But we said, no, train. So we took the train. Yeah. And the train was empty. Empty train, seriously. We were the only one going on the train. There was a lady, I think, old lady, but we were alone. We didn't understand why. When we come to DC also, we had to take a taxi. And then we realized that everybody in Algeria at that time, they go by taxi because this is a big patrol with 10, 12 people can sit and you pay nothing and they drive for hours. So going by train was slowly, going by taxi was quick. So the guy, taxi driver, drive us from TCO to my friend's village. Not the village, the nearby village to my friend. And it was a bumpy road. They were going like this because there was like craters in the road. So like bombs had been there. So the whole road was bombed. So it took us like 2 hours and we came to this village and showed the paper where we want to go and they pointed up. So we have like, I think they drove us up. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think they drove us up like half an hour on the slippery road, up, 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 up. So this house was at 1,700 meters. It was one of the highest points I ever been in my life. Yeah, except the airplane. But so it was 1,700 meters above the water level, ocean level, or whatever you call it. So the air was thin, and there was this house, and we came up, and my friend was there, and he was very happy to see us, but he said, "You're crazy coming here. It's very, very dangerous to be in Algiers." We didn't understand that at all, but we were there, and we spent 3 fantastic days here. And in the morning, we went up very early before the sun go up, and we sat at the roof. They have built a big house, I think 8 floors, totally empty. There were his sisters and brothers was living there, and he could speak English. And on this roof at 1,700 meters, we saw the sun go up over the mountain. It was totally beautiful. It's one of the most peaceful, beautiful places I've ever been in my whole life. Totally quiet. There was no cars, no nothing. It was quiet. And we went to a spring, hot spring, to bathe because my hands was. He wanted me to take to the spring. We couldn't pay anything. He paid everything. He didn't want our money. How I met this guy, Ben, he was hitchhiking in Sweden. And my mom picked him up. My mom was a very special lady. We had a lot of hitchhikers living with us, and a lot of Indian people and whatever people. I grew up with 17 people from my age of 7 to I was 15 years old. There was 17 people living in our house, and I only counted the people that lived more than 6 months. So maybe it was 100. I only counted the ones living in our house longer than 6 months. It's the perfect coaching, growing up world to have different people, different normal system. They were from India, they were from Finland, they were from Sweden, they were drug addicts, they were criminals, they were famous people, they were music people, they were all kinds of people, all kinds of ages, from 15, 16 years old to 30, 45 years old. They stayed with us for months. And Ben was one of these guys staying with us for 6, I think he get 8 months he could stay with us in Sweden. And then we buy him a flight ticket home to Algiers. So that's why I knew that if I come to Algiers, I'm welcome. I'm like a family member from his family. So when we were in Algiers, we played football. I remember the football, I mean, this is mountain. So the football maybe was 30 degrees, 25 degrees at least. running up, running down at 700 meters over the sea level. That was hard. I mean, we were good shape, seriously good shape, training both my friend and I, but we could play football like 10, 15 minutes, and we was like lying in the mud, but it was they were very surprised that we could play football. They have never ever seen people with cerebral palsy, ever. They have not seen one disabled person in their whole life. So when we had to go from there, we wanted to fly to Spain, to Madrid, because we had our tickets was going back to my school. At that time, I went to sports school in Sweden. Elite sports school, because I was elite athlete at that time. So we tried to fly to Spain from Algeria. It was not possible. So they told us, no. So we had to brag to buy a ticket under the table. And we went to the Swedish embassy in Algeria, and the ambassador came out. I remember they had a toilet at the embassy. It was the first Western toilet I have seen in weeks. So it was like, wow. Yep, but and then I came out, and the ambassador was standing there. What are you doing here? You're crazy. Go home. Go home. You cannot stay here. It's not secure. So we went to the airport, paid some policemen, got the first day we couldn't. There was only one plane a day from Algeria. First day we couldn't. We buy the ticket, but we couldn't get on the plane. So the next day we buy the ticket and we paid under the table, and we came on this airplane. It was the most mysterious air flight I ever attended in my life. It was only men there. There was not one single woman in a Boeing 767. So there was like 450 people at least on this plane. No women, not a single woman on the plane. And we came to Europe, to Barcelona, of all crazy places in the world. And this was 91, because New Year had passed, and Sweden was not in the European country society, what you call it, at the time. And there was like a queue, because we were non-European Union. But I took my friend's passport. We passed the line, and I told them maybe we will be in the union, because there were only Arabic and Berber people in the other line, and it should take hours for us to walk there. They took our passport, and we could go through very quick. And I wanted to go to the Olympic Arena. It was very dark. It was evening. And I said, take taxi, and we went to the Olympic Arena. because the 92 Olympic was in Barcelona and I wanted to see the arena. We came there, my friend talked to the guard, and they let us in. So we went in there, and the guard told at that time Ben Johnson was the big sprinter. He dubbed himself, but he was the big name. And the day before he was training there, so I ran a lap around the 400-meter Olympic arena in total darkness. Um, um, Incredible for me to run one lap, and he said there had been only maybe 10 people running here because it was not open. Ben Johnson was one of them, and I was one of them. So, and then I went home to Sweden, and I didn't qualify for the Paralympic 92. It's a different story. My friend that came with me to Algiers, he didn't qualify for Barcelona either. He qualified for the Atlanta Paralympic 1996. 4 years later, he didn't qualify for the Swedish team, but he had a double passport, so he qualified for their Spanish team. So I met him in the semi-final at the Paralympic 100-meter final in Atlanta, but that's a different story. So this was my Sunday talk today. I hope you enjoyed this long 42 minutes. Wow, that's crazy. But what's the sum up of this? If I knew how dangerous it was to go to Algeria, I wouldn't have gone. But I was young. 2 weeks after we have been there, they killed all foreigners. And they took their head, put them on the sidewalk. All journalists, they killed every West person. 2 weeks later, we had no clue it was that thing. And then they start the war inside Algiers. I don't know the society, different angles there, but we were there before the war. That's why there was no people on the train. There were no people on the streets. It was war. We had no idea. They shouldn't have let us inside, but we both have cerebral palsy, so maybe they saw through the fingers or what you call it, and let us in. I have met one person all my life, one person who have been to Algeria in all my life, and I have met a lot of people. I have done public speaking for hundreds of thousands of people, and I used to make them raise their hand if they have been to Algeria. I have met one person in 25 years of public speaking, hundreds of thousands of people, one-to-one people. I meet around 10,000 people for years, and not only one, have been 12 years. Nowadays, if there were no corona around the world, probably you can travel to Algeria. It's quite safe now, but 30 years ago, it was really, really dangerous. So this was my Sunday talk. Enjoy your day. Next Sunday, it's another Sunday talk. I don't know what I'm going to talk about then, but I hope you enjoy this. Tomorrow, it's Monday. It's my normal subject, whatever I come up with tomorrow. Enjoy your day today and take care.